Do you like beans? I do. I like baked beans. I like black beans. I even like green beans. But you know what my favorite kind of beans are? Refried. That's right. Beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So let's have refried beans on the 35XX SP. Please stay tuned. It'll get a lot better. We'll talk about video games and Chinese retro handhelds.
There it is.
So you've decided you want refried beans on your 35XX SP. Well, your first step, of course, is going to be to go to the muOS website and find your refried beans link. Now, if you click on the refried beans link, you'll see all of the updates that they've made to the software. I'm not going to read them all, but of note, for the 35XX SP, you can close the lid. The magnet works now. It'll turn the screen off. They've also added it to the RG28XX. Doing a video on that soon. So maybe I'll put Mustard OS on that too. Who knows? They've added sleep and shutdown mode. What that means is if you leave your handheld with the lid closed for a certain amount of time, it'll turn itself off to save battery. The handheld already had HDMI out for video, but audio was coming through the actual handheld itself. They fixed that, so now the audio is coming from your TV or your computer screen or what have you. You also have the ability to change your outputted resolution. You can go all the way up to 1080p, 60 FPS. Whoa! If you want to download it, just click on the link to download it. It's going to take a minute, and when you get it on your computer, you're going to want to extract it so you have just the image file. If you already have regular beans on your 35XX SP, you're going to want to back up your ROMs, your BIOS files, maybe your save games and your art. So you want to find all those things on the original SD card, copy them over to your computer, and then when you're done reflashing, because you can't just update it, you have to reflash. But once you're done with that, you'll be able to put your old files back into their previous locations and everything should run just like it did before. So let's copy over all these games and some BIOS stuff and my art, my saves, all that. There we go. And then you're going to want to open up Win32 Disk Imager or Balena Etcher or Rufus or whatever you want. And just as easy as can be, you're going to want to flash that image to your card. I'm not going to go super in depth on this because I just did a video on how to do it. You can go reference that. But your next steps are going to be to put the SD card into your 35XX SP. Of note, you'll be able to select the SP model from the initial configuration menu, and you're going to want to do that because that's going to let you have your lid closing stuff, and then it's going to install. So once you get done with the credits, you can safely shut down your handheld, pop the SD card back out, put it back into your computer, and start copying over all of that stuff that you had previously saved from your old SD card. You can also go to their themes repository. We're going to download a couple ones here that look a little bit interesting. I like this Royal one. I like the NXOS. I like, there's different color versions of my GBOS that I liked from before. So let's download a couple of these and just copy everything over. So now that we're done with that, let's turn this sucker on and see what she can do. Okay, let's install those cool themes. Heck, let's try Diamond. All done. Okay, and let's try RetroArch cheats. Ooh, that's neat. This might take a hot minute, but it looks like they have cheats on here. Remember in my first video, I showed you how to manually throw all those cheats on here, but now looks like they figured it out for us. Prior to this, you'd have to find the cheat file like I showed in my previous video, manually put it on your SD card and extract it, and then you'd have your cheats, but this is just already built in the Archive Manager. Pretty slick. Okay, so we got cheats installed. Let's install a couple more of these themes. Now we can go into our theme manager. Now let's see these new themes. I like Diamond. So here's Royal Moo, which is actually pretty cool. I think for this video, we're going to stick with Royal Moo. Get that volume cranked up. Now, shut the lid. Oh, it worked. Neat. Neat. We're updated to the 1.19.1 version of RetroArch, which came out on June 5th. It is, of course, 64-bit. So this is the latest and greatest, as of now, version of RetroArch you can get for this handheld. And, I don't know, little minute improvements are the sign of a robust and mature firmware. And I think Mustard OS is well on its way, especially with these little incremental updates. I think their next step is going to have to be online update, which would be pretty cool. You won't have to take your card out and reflash it, but otherwise, it's good to see this kind of stuff. One of the things they added was this new graphic here that makes it much more apparent when you are lowering or increasing the brightness. Also the same with the volume. It's very clear where you're at with brightness or volume now. It's also much more stable when it comes to Wi-Fi. One of my problems with the previous release of this, especially when I was trying to chase achievements, was that it would just drop Wi-Fi. It would forget my local Wi-Fi. I would connect, I would play a little bit, I'd close it, I'd turn it back on, I'd start my game, and I'd get that little, you cannot connect to the retro achievement servers. And I'd say, yes, I can. And I would go into configuration, and the 35XX SP would say, I've never met this Wi-Fi before. I don't know this Wi-Fi. Who is this Wi-Fi? What is Wi-Fi? I don't know. And it was really annoying. This is a lot more robust in my testing. Every once in a while, you still might run into an issue where it won't detect the Wi-Fi networks for the first minute or two after it's turned on. But once you get connected, it seems to be a lot more responsive, and it seems to hold on to that Wi-Fi a little bit harder. Another cool thing is those configuration files we had to manually transfer over in the previous version for Nintendo DS. They just exist now. And you have this cool little background. Ooh. Well, now I hear you saying, Zoo, I don't want this weird layout. I want just the main screen. Well, don't get excited. You can hold down the menu button and cycle through everything. You can find the one you like. Whoa, that's sideways. What the heck? Let's try to get big one. I like these ones towards the beginning. You can have the main screen and a little guy up here, like you're watching picture-in-picture, or you can just have the main screen with a little bit of a bezel, or heck, let's just go full main screen. I gotta tell you though, this thing is not suited for dual-screen DS games, but these Game Boy Advance 2.0 games, oh man, it's amazing for it. And again, oh, I gotta go do something. Turns it right off. Pretty slick. You know what else is pretty slick? Zoo reviews. So like and subscribe if you like this video so far. So the last new thing I want to test is HDMI out. Now HDMI out always worked. It's just the audio came from here. But in this latest version they fixed it. So when I plug this in to my little TV/monitor, hopefully we will hear audio from the TV and not here. So let's reset and see if we can get that to work. Plugged in here. To go to settings, general settings, HDMI output on. You can change your mode. Let's take it to, let's go as high as we can, 1080p. Save. Hey, how about that? Now, this theme doesn't look super great on the TV, but let's try some games. Oh! It's definitely coming from the TV. Not from the handheld. Not from the handheld. It actually doesn't look too bad on a monitor. Geez, here comes Juggernaut. Now some people, there is a bug where when you disconnect, you no longer have audio on your actual unit, but mine doesn't have that problem. You can see. So, your mileage may vary, but it hasn't happened to me. So, it's time for What Did We Learn? Well, we learned that the new version of muOS, cunningly named Refried Beans, for a partial in-between release upgrade, it's fairly substantial. You get this lid support. Also, I didn't even mention it. This is now available for the 28XX. So that's another custom firmware for that handheld. I'm going to do my beach video on that soon. But for the 35XX SP, you have sleep mode when you close it. Pretty neat. Turns right back on. Your network connection is a little bit more stable. You have the new HDMI out options, different resolutions on the HDMI out, and audio from your TV, not from the actual handheld. There's some back-end stuff like themes were moved around a little bit. You have different tools in the task toolkit. The menu's a little bit more responsive. Your brightness and your volume indicators are a little bit more accurate. You've updated a RetroArch 1.19.1, and then a whole bunch of little different upgrades that are in the GitHub somewhere, but I wasn't even aware of, like cheats. You have cheats on here. You don't have to do it yourself. So all in all, I thought muOS was probably the best custom firmware for the 35XX SP to begin with, and then this new upgrade, this refrying of the beans, as it were, it makes it even better. So if you are going to get a 35XX SP, or you already have one, I'm going to have to recommend, yet again, getting Mustard OS, or muOS as they call it now, because I don't know, they leaned into refried beans. The next one's going to be called bananas, but they don't want to call it mustard anymore. Come on, guys. Be brave. Be brave. Mustard's good. It's probably my favorite condiment. What's your favorite condiment? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, muOS, according to this guy, Zoo Reviews, is still probably your best bet for the 35XX SP. So if you like the video, if you like our crazy antics, remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. I don't know. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. I think that'd be pretty neat. Maybe you can help. It seems like roughly 75% of our viewers don't subscribe. And I don't know. I couldn't personally stand being a freeloader like that. I'm just joshing you. You can watch it if you want. Goodbye.